What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're going to be looking at James' hand history. James played a little 1650 here, and he managed to turn that into $4,600. So this is a big game. He played for 13 hours. Wow, what kind of site does like this long late registration, a big game, 13 hours, man. Let's see how you do it.
Gonna be a long study session.
So he finished second, got 240 buy-ins. It's not so bad for 13 hours.
Oh no, yeah, it's very good. Pocket three here. I don't know, but I'm always calling here. What about you guys? I'm calling because we're super deep. And then like,
I'm cold.
I'm calling.
alright,
I hate to get
Unless
cold.
unless I like,
the villains.
His bet size was pretty big though, right? He
There was
bet
an
four
open
and a half.
lamp. There was an open lamp under the gun. They fishy fuck.
yeah, it's a bit.
but honestly, if you told me that his 4 big blind raise was guaranteed to be jacks plus, I'm more likely to call threes. Then they
Yeah.
stack themselves every time. Like I
Yeah.
love like
Yeah.
people overvalue premium hands so much. Like I prefer him to have a premium range when I have threes.
Because it's so easy to fold if you don't hit your set.
Oh my goodness, James. What are you doing? I
Well-
bet this is probably pretty good at 40 big blinds. At 20 big blinds, I mean, this deep, I don't know if it's a thing. I know that this deep, I would wanna raise with like 3, 5 of clubs.
I think it would be a lot better if there was 8 high flop and not a 9 high flop.
With like hands like 8, 7 and stuff like this, because this one. We have the overcard, the backdoor flush, the straight dangler, so a lot going on here, but it's so strong. We have showdown value, so I'm not sure if turning it into a bluff is really good here. But then cutoff,
Yeah, I
guess
think it's
close.
okay, but I think it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I think maybe flushes like 10-7 or Jack-7 want to raise a little more there. Where you interact with the
Like
top
if you had
ace.
H4 of clubs, it would be good, I think, too.
So what's your reasoning for raising her, James?
Well, the fact that we have a lot going on. We have backdoor straight, we have an overcard, we have backdoor flush, and I just feel like if I can take the pot down now, I would much rather do that.
Well, the solver says it's a thing here. It's a
Yeah.
good idea. It's a good play. I would find more like this area here. But this hand is a fine play.
And H4 is never doing it.
It's mixing 50-50, so we can definitely raise here. Although what you wanna do here, okay, so here you raise 4x, right? But the solver here is only raising small, 2.5x. So you wanna size down a little bit here. Overall, it's approved. Okay, 3-bet, just call. Jack, check, bet. Oh boy, what are we supposed to do here?
That's like, is that bottom of range versus button, or is that, do we want to 4-bet that? 4-bet
I was
bluff.
thinking the
I know
same
a
thing.
4-bet
I think
bluff.
4-betting this at some frequency is great, but doesn't have to be all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I prefer the 4-better, probably just fold, to be honest.
yeah, but this guy does not 3-bet bluff enough, so when you 4-bet here, I don't know.
I don't even know if it's a thing.
I
I don't have my ranges up, so.
I really did. I didn't even consider 4-betting. I mean, I guess that's certainly a thing I should be thinking.
These like trashy offsuit hands make really nice 4-bet bluffs. Like king, queen off is a reasonable 4-bet bluff if you want to get after it. Ace, queen, ace, jack off, reasonable 4-bet bluffs.
So at 80, it does it 25% of the time. Yeah, I just like it with the offsuit because you're out of position. It's nice if, like, if they're getting, especially if he's like someone that's gonna be active like that, if he's a Brazilian or Russian or whatever, anyone that's not really American, it's not a nit. I like the 4-bet.
My thought is, on the flop here, you just, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what I did. Let's hear what everybody says before.
Is this more of a call
just-
or a raise?
I would just
Fine.
call.
That's my question here.
I don't wanna really lose all my chips right, like on that flop.
I think it's a call, huh?
I mean, we got probably the best hand most of the time. We block aces, we block, but we also block like bluffs like ace, king, ace, queen, ace, 10.
Can we raise this type of hand? We could. Definitely one of our highest frequency rate there. So that's what I thought. So we should raise here.
Yeah, we don't get here with many jacks, so
Yeah. So you go for the call. Hit the turn, he sizes up. So call, hit the turn. Well, it doesn't really matter here. We need to call or raise. So you go for the raise here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. He stuffs.
Oh,
Hopefully he has a
I'm
scheme.
not-
Pretty sick.
yeah, you get a.
He
Oh,
played it- he played it terribly.
You know, you know, this game is about getting gifts and then not giving the gifts away. So there
Oh
you
my
go.
god. What a punt. What a fucking punt.
Our opponent made a mistake. He over evaluated his hand a little bit.
See my note at if I have threes, I want them to have premium range because like that's the kind of shit people do with premiums, right?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I called it off, but I'm
Wow.
not happy here.
All right, I gotta go, guys. I'm gonna go late reg at 1650 on ACR, right?
But this is an 11x jam. That's insane.
Yeah, but can we
This is
ever
just-
fold
this-
ace king suited? I don't
This
think.
is,
we
this
can.
is, we're gonna be up against
No.
a pair. We're gonna be up against some sort of pair here a lot.
He's gotta
Yeah,
have
well-
a psycho stats. Like if you tell me this guy's like 10-4 or something, you know, is there his stats? Like maybe you can find a fold, but like just don't.
He's gonna have like
So-
eights, nines, tens, jacks here a lot.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna
Like-
win here.
I think he's
But
actually
people's
gonna have a
stats with,
worse
like,
hand.
ace-
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
King jack is really bad. That's really bad.
Just-
Okay, Miami green, you might wanna get off that green a little bit. And you want to probably be a little more like cautious when it comes to ripping 100 big blind and
Drew picks against a 3-bet.
three bet. So, yeah,
When you don't block aces.
he was playing something like 45, 38. or something.
Okay, beat it before 45. Yeah, call. Click call.
So this is like recreational Sunday too, right? So we're getting a lot of players in here that are a lot of fun players on Sunday, I guess.
so
Yeah.
for me, if we look at that chart here, I think that chart is gonna say it wants to call sometimes, maybe. But I believe this is a careful.
Yeah, I would fold here.
Fold.
What the hell are you doing here, James?
Yeah, I think it might have been a misclick there. I'm not, or I don't know but I was thinking. it might-
This,
I've never seen a 40 big blind misclick before.
this probably does, 4-bet a sliver as well. It's like ace 10, ace jack, ace queen off, like the offsuit crap. If you're going to 4-bet, it's probably what you want to use.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
I don't think it's crazy actually. And if he's getting after it, like it's okay. It's
are you-
it's a little needlessly big. So there's that.
Are you guys mad? 100 big blinds deep, you're gonna 4-bet?
I don't know, 100 big
If you
blinds. I
if you
don't-
think if you tell me this guy's got a 12% 3-bet, then like I'm thinking about it. Definitely thinking
I
about it.
hate that 4-bet.
Wow. Scott.
Yeah,
talk
When I
to
play,
me.
I play 100 big blinds.
Get in there with king, queen off.
Dude,
Ace
Louis,
jack
some people
off,
are
ace
folding
ten
to
off.
4-bet so much you can 4-bet any two cards, like literally.
I like to
I don't know
4-bet
if guys
flush.
that, but they're out there.
I need the right combos like that ace 5 suited here, or that ace.
This is a pretty good combo. You can make Broadway. You block aces. You block ace king. You're 30% against kings. Like you're live.
Yeah, this is gonna get there.
Get a lot of folds too, because people don't four bet that much. People see a four bet, they're like, oh, this is always the nuts.
Jesus,
Exactly. Some
dude.
guys have figured out that you know that you need to be three betting, but then they can't handle four bets. Like, and that doesn't mean that's this guy, but some people are like that.
You guys are
Tim,
sick.
have you, Tim, you said 30% against kings. Aren't you more like 25% against kings?
You know, you're 30% if you believe in yourself. Okay.
It's spicy,
Probably
but it's
30%
not
for
like
two.
insane. It's only one pip out.
Yeah, it's one pip out. Like if you think he's out of line, you get out a little out of line. Fight fire with fire.
One pip out of a sliver.
Jesus, you guys.
Terrible.
The thing with, the thing that
Oh,
I,
wait,
reason
it
why,
is. Oh my
the reason
That's what
why,
we're telling you, man. That's what we're telling you. These people, they fold. They like to fold. Make
and
them
what I was
fold.
gonna say before that ended, the thing that would dissuade me from wanting to do it is his three bet was so large, I wouldn't have taken the spot.
I guess it's an exploit move.
God. Alright, I'm gonna take.
Yeah, I
it.
agree. The large
just
three bet
fold.
is concerning. It's not. I don't love it. I'd much rather four bet this against a 10 big blind three bet or whatever.
Yeah, if he makes it 9 or 8, 8.5, 9, then I'm going for
10
it.
even is reasonable. 14's concerning, but who knows?
Yeah,
I think you're just risking too many chips.
Hell yeah. It's
And,
like-
and then even then with ours, like, you know, why do we need to go almost 3x? I think we can size that down just a hair and get the same result.
So what do you think? Well, I mean, I don't like, I honestly think in my head now when I saw it that it was just a pure fold, but I mean, I guess at the time I did it. So I can't say anything about that, but
I think if you have any reason to believe that, you know, he's out of line, then it's a reasonable exploit. It's definitely an exploit.
But-
You're definitely getting out of line, but whatever.
The base you should go off from is that he does not three bet bluff often enough.
You also did show him like 2 hands ago that ace king suited is in your big call off range, so he might have that in his mind.
What's the play
But also,
here?
Louis, you're right that people don't three bet, but they also just make absurd plays sometimes. Like, I think God, what was it? Was I four betting on a cash table, like small blind versus cutoff or something, and the guy folds jacks face up?
Yeah.
So like, there are some absurd plays out there, and like, you know, give him a chance.
So how often do you three bet here, Jay?
almost never. And that's because I call a lot from the big blind.
This is a great three bet.
Yeah, so Matt Affleck talks about this strategy here in a few of his webinars, and what I see here is like 2 triangles. There's one triangle here. That one kind of a weird shape here. Anyhow, it's like one big triangle here, and I tried to find these a little bit more against the button. Anyhow, here we have queen jack suited. This would be a fine three bet because of the stack depth. If we were shorter, it would be more of a call. This deep, it makes a good three bet. Check, check. Okay. Right. With the queen, is this a lead spot? I don't think it is. Even
If
though,
you probed here, what size would you probe?
wow.
I wouldn't bet.
Like
it would be
2.5.
small.
I got a ton of single diamond hands. I got fours. I
Yeah.
got pairs like 5, 6. I got 2s, 3s, 5s, 6s, 7s. Shoving them up protection with 8s. I got, you know, like ace 4, ace 2 shit's gonna wanna bet. I'm gonna have single diamond hands. I'm gonna wanna bet.
Ace three, ace five.
And there's just not a ton of value with all the bluffs we're already thinking about, so. I think bluffing this hand's probably too much.
Did a 10-10-3 suited there, Louis.
I bet like 25% of the time.
Which one?
Yeah,
This
that
is-
one.
The
Oh,
other thing is we're out of position. He's never gonna
I
fold
was looking
anytime.
for the flush draw one. I was right on it. Hmm.
But when I bet if the river falls the flush, I put him a lot on the flush.
And he really shouldn't have our combo at all. He would have bet that
It
on
went
the
check, it
flop.
went check, Louis.
Yeah,
He's
but
not
he's
gonna have
supposed
a
to
lot of-
bet
not
like
gonna have a lot of-
95% of range there.
He's not gonna have much jack X or queen X in his range either.
Check, and then the 4 comes in of spade. Do we have leads? Oh.
Ace high is gonna
So
call.
the sizing is gonna be small.
We're gonna get a lot of worse to fold actually, and not much better is gonna fold. Like, we're gonna get worse hands to fold when we
We,
bet
we
here.
need a diamond here to do it. Simple as
Yeah.
that. We need a
Yeah.
diamond because here it's spades, all the offsuit area, these are, seems to be all spades. So if you wanna lead this turn, you need a diamond.
Yeah, you block his value when you have a diamond in your hand.
You just fold.
Can we fold here?
Easy fold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
We
easy?
have lots of single diamonds. We have lots of ace high, king high.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely. And like much better than calling there. I would rather, if anything, probe that, but still no.
How are you?
What's the play here?
But you don't like, so you don't like the check fold then, or you do?
I would
No, I like
fold.
check fold best, but I would have rather, like, if we wanted to get aggressive, I would have just let out turns and flop check through, if anything.
I would defend his heads up versus hijack, but I'm folding. I'm not gonna play, if we come along big blinds in, we're out of position versus 3 people, I would just fold here.
I fold.
I'm thinking about calling this. I'm thinking about squeezing this too.
Okay, so what do you guys do with 9-8 suited here?
I call 100% of the time.
I
100%
call
VPIP.
only
squeeze some.
versus bad players.
Okay.
I'm folding because we're so deep. We could just get cooler too and just lose massive amount of chips.
Jack
when we get
buttons
flush.
for the small blind.
I'm just folding.
Yeah, I fold like a
Folding.
Yeah. 9-8, I'm folding too.
Okay, yeah, sliver, no, it should be mostly folding here, and then even 9-8 is mixing.
Yeah, cuz you got reverse implied odds with these hands this deep and you're gonna be out of position versus 3 people when you call.
Especially since you just did a cleanup and you're using the new structure.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're happier to make the straight than the flush, so
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're definitely happier making a straight than the flush, that's for sure.
As long as you're making like a good straight. Like
tricky
a
spot
9
now,
high straight.
there we go. There
Oh,
we go.
God.
I think I'm folding. here.
I fold also.
Pretty icky.
yeah,
Folding's pretty
multi-way.
rough. Folding's
Yeah.
pretty
Multi-way,
rough.
You guys continue here?
Not
So-
versus overcall.
Yeah, it doesn't, yeah, that's what I think as well.
So
Too much
part of the
action.
problem.
I think
though-
if I'm gonna continue, I'd rather just
Now we're
check raise.
stuck.
I'd
Now I
rather
have to
just
play.
raise than call, cuz I think button's super capped. And I think the other guy's just throwing chips in the pot with a C bet a lot. So if anything, I'm just gonna raise and represent a set here, or 2 pairs, 6, 7.
Oh my goodness, Ken.
I think it's not crazy. I think,
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
big old
Multi,
protection against
Yeah.
like,
So
yeah.
like, I'm not gonna play this hand, but I did play it. Now I got top pair that needs a lot of protection. And I don't think calling's very good, is all I'm saying.
Ken.
Yeah,
you're-
hijack can
We're
have like ace
100
of hearts
big
jack.
blinds deep. No. Here we are 100 big blinds deep. We're not gonna play like we have 20 big blinds and our top pair is the best thing in the world, right? If a heart comes, we don't wanna play for 200 big blinds here.
I'll give up if they call. I'm gonna raise, and if they got something good enough to call and the
I'm
turn
I'm
doesn't.
100% sure you never get to raise this deep multi-way. Like just because we're deep stack, it's not gonna raise often.
Alright, well, that's what I mean. That's why I didn't play this hand pre-flop, so I'm not here. I'm not in this part of the game, but if I was, I'd have to go for
Oh,
What do you do now?
I fold.
it. You gotta fold.
Yeah, I fold.
Yeah. Nope,
Yeah, I'm not sure that you do.
You're not closing the action here. It's
the
pretty
tough
bad.
spot here. So check. Oh my goodness, are we gonna?
now
call
you
here?
fold. What
I
fixes
fold.
you?
I don't know.
I mean, Button's got nines, he's got eights, nines, tens, jacks, probably even. like,
Yeah.
He's got ace seven, but I don't think he's gonna do this, play it that way, but maybe he could, right? He could have straights.
You can get
Got
squeezed by
sets.
the first
He's
guy.
got sets of twos, sets of sixes, sets of, he could have turned a set of fives, like. We're not
Yeah,
close
so-
to action.
Folding here, right?
I'm folding.
I don't know, like,
I'm
Yes.
folding.
I'm folding the
Just
flop.
shows so much strength.
This is why, this is why I don't like calling
This whole line
down.
is really fishy. Like his line, Button's line is really fishy. I'm not sure I believe it.
yeah, like, look how small that river bed is.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just bad to call, but
I would like
The
to point
only-
out that Ken's flop raise, to be results oriented, is really good.
Yeah,
That is a high level
what's that?
question, because you guys got so much in
'Cause
play.
You're calling down versus two people and you just never really know where you are with such a marginal hand. But when you raise, you can either take it down or you get a pretty good idea that your hand's never gonna be very good.
Those hands might break.
I don't
and
like
everything,
raising the flop
you
at all.
know.
I mean, that maybe I'm wrong, but
oh, I agree with you. We're too deep here.
I feel like if you raise the flop and,
Absolutely.
you know, you get,
So that,
you
that's-
get, three, what do? You just have to fold, and then now you just gave them 25
well,
blinds.
that's what you gotta think about when you call pre-flop, I think, with this hand versus two players too. You're gonna be out of position versus two players and with
Alright,
the top
yeah, yeah,
flop
let's-
pair.
Let's
And
not
chips start-
spend too much time on it because we
But,
shouldn't.
but
even be
before,
here.
In a
but
lot of
before we go, speaking of the 9-7 suited, hey, Ken, you wanna rerun that 9-7 suited hand?
What, 9-7 suited hand?
Yeah.
You had the cash hand?
Yeah,
Do you really wanna say it?
really, I really wanna see it.
Jesus.
So
It is
yes,
my white whale.
I'll have to do
Who's
it.
got, who's got all that background noise? Can they mute themselves?
and again,
I just did it. It's James. It's our,
thanks.
our guest. Our special
Oh,
guest.
well, I guess he
today.
needs to be able to talk, but maybe mute in and mute out, James, if you have a lot of background noise.
Yeah, just unmute yourself when you wanna say something, James.
Yeah, it's that last hand was kind of weird because he shouldn't really bet the turn with ace six there. And then when he gets there with a six on the river, he makes a tiny bet and really incentivizes us to call, right? Like that's the weird thing. That looks like a draw betting there, right? And then he has to bet the river, so he bets tiny.
Oh my God, wait, I missed this before. We were three ways
Yeah.
on the turn and we still called the river. That's criminal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that is criminal.
Yeah,
I thought we was heads up on the turn and then we called the river. That's more defensible.
yeah, but this is punty. A little bit punty here, James.
Can we fold the flop?
We could fold pre-flop, actually. That would
You
be,
go
and
full
folding the
everywhere.
flop, folding the flop is my favorite action here.
The
I'm never
Yeah.
calling here. I don't feel like.
the 2+2 advice for this one is definitely fold pre.
Yeah,
What's-
if I get there on the flop, I'm folding the flop.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, is this more of a call or a three bet? I think it's
Too big,
a fine
it's too
three
big of
bet.
a, it's a little big, right?
It's
Five
way too
plus-
big.
It's a big
I don't know.
three bet.
It's really
Like
unnecessary.
Just 6.6.
Yeah, James, what's up with your
I
sizing?
mean, you're deeper stacks, so you could go like, 7.5 probably.
Agree with
If you
that.
want, you know, but,
Yeah, 200 bigs, you can size up a hair.
Ten's way
another
too
big.
big. Ten's too big.
Well, the problem is his open was too small, right? Like he should have opened 3x.
2.5 or 3.
They're
I,
200
I only
big.
open 2.5 myself.
Okay, yeah, no, it's fine. It
Yeah.
would be 8. Does he goes 10? Okay, so yeah, it's too big. 8.5 here could be fine.
And the effective stack, if you know, the big blind, the effective stack 60, so, I mean, like 2.5 would have been. good.
Ooh,
And,
yeah.
and let me say this, regardless of what size you pick, you just gotta be dead certain that you're not giving sizing tells. So like if your entire range, you like a 4.5x 3-bet or whatever, fine. I'm not gonna actually fight you on it. But if you go into a small one with aces, people are gonna figure it out and they're gonna rip you apart.
Right.
Because you're so deep against him, it's reasonable to, 3-bet up to, even up to 9 big blinds here, but any bigger than that is unnecessary.
And let's note that the big blind cold called.
Yeah. You guys like betting here or checking? Multi-way? You know what I'm gonna say, right?
You're
I
gonna say
check.
bet, I'm checking.
Okay. Well,
I'm
you
not
like,
sure.
I'm betting it.
It's a 3-bet pot. You got to see bet.
Yeah, well, wait, I
No,
don't know.
you don't have to. Not
You're
not
you're
three-way,
multi-way.
and not on this board. This board is not our board. If it was ace 9-3, then like yes, C bet 100%, 100% range, no questions asked.
I'm in position. I wanna realize my equity and it's a multi-way flop, so, I like checking here. If I had a spade, I'd be probably more inclined to bet, but.
I agree, especially with crazy
Or
deep
cl-
versus
or
hijack.
clubs.
The blockers are really important. I
do
really don't
like
want to start
to bet.
piling here.
And like this big blind's probably set mining, and so, I mean, it's unlikely he has a set, but if he just raises here, I'm miserable.
Yep.
Ooh,
And like, sure, if you're gonna bet,
And
keep it
there he
small.
goes, he clicks it.
I
Love
think
it.
we need to call I think we need to call this min.
I,
raise.
I'm
we're
thinking,
calling this-
thank God
I
he
call
clicked
min
it.
raise.
I mean, thank
Well, yeah,
God
we
he
have direct
clicked it.
odds. We have to call flop.
There we go.
There we go. That's
Now we
why.
have to fuck him in the, now we
Easy
have to fuck
game.
him.
I don't think that it's unlikely that he has a set on the flop.
Very likely.
Okay.
Well-
Oh, yeah.
so I
Yeah, we have
think
a
just
very,
said about-
it's
we have a very
extremely
vulnerable
unlikely
straight
now
right now.
because when he checks this turn, it's always gonna be spades. A set of 7 is never gonna check this turn. He's gonna rip.
Dude, Louis, people are so bad. Like we can't say always and never, but
Right,
I just bet like the third pot here, cause he prices them in on the river with everything, pretty much.
SPR is one.
We just never.
I think he could
That's
probably
what play to
even
knock it
have
out
pocket
drawing.
jacks.
I would
Because of the
bet,
large 3-bet size.
I would have bet about 25 here.
Alright,
I think like quarter pot is even kind of interesting because like it
Yeah.
often gets him to jam his spades. Like if he wants to jam like whatever queen, king, jack of spades or some garbage, like let him. And it's not
How
like we're gonna like
cheap-
call his river donk if he.
That was a weird
You wanna
min
let
raise
him
from
draw,
him.
how cheap do you wanna let him draw to those spades though, if he doesn't, jam you? I mean,
It
you wanna
doesn't
give him
matter.
the blind.
Quarter pot, I think is pretty nice.
at this SPR, it doesn't matter at all. We're never folding.
Okay.
I think that jamming is quite nice there.
I've actually been I've been seeing too many folds from pot bets like that, and I'm trying to mix in more small bets. I guess the small bet is more defensible when we have one of the flush suit because then we're less worried about it coming in. That if I was going to break up that range, do more small bets when you have the spades. At least one.
You can go you can open 3.5 this deep, probably
You can open 4x.
4.
You guys are checking or betting here?
I'm gonna bet.
I'm betting range.
Yeah, bet.
We're out of position. I'm gonna check.
Yeah.
We're the
Partial
pre-flop,
check.
we're the pre-flop aggressor, and he's gonna defend with a lot of shit around the 6 and the 5, and.
Yeah.
I mean, of course,
Yeah,
he's
we have
got a
value
lot of-
targets.
he's gonna have a lot of kings too. He's got flush. He's got a lot of draws we can get value from still, but.
Yeah, we're betting for value. Betting second pair for value.
Yeah, okay.
And now we're on our heels, check calling, which is not terrible.
Well, this D blind versus blind.
It keeps him in with all his bluffs.
Oh, I hate that river. This
He's
is the
gonna
one
check,
that
but
gets
he's
me
gonna check
called.
back a lot without a straight.
Yeah, I like this river a lot because
Yeah,
it
I know what I
blocks the
like
king,
that the
so.
river, I like that the
Yeah.
river came, but I hate that it makes me call and how often I'm wrong.
It sucks when he bets a lot, yeah, like, so that's nice. So you check and he just goes fucking berserko with garbage.
All right, well that's pretty nice against a player who's
That was
got
perfect.
spaz in them.
We played perfect.
This is
Right,
a
what do you guys do here with pocket jacks?
I kind of
I
think I
fold.
called. I think I called, but I think I fold.
I would
Think
fold
low
sevens,
jack?
jacks, I would call.
Jacks, I'm four betting unless I think hijack is loose or tight rather.
Yeah, I fold or 4-bet
We
jack.
got the low jack in the hand still.
Like 10%
so
time.
I think I would just call jacks with the low jack and as the opener, and it's another big 3-bet.
I think I'm with Nick here. I'm folding or like, no, I'm just folding honestly, but like,
Jacks?
yeah.
Yeah,
Snap
No.
fold.
Oh, come
Yeah.
on.
You think this
Like-
guy three bets often enough?
4
I don't know
bet
who he
30%
is.
of the
To
time.
nit jail.
I'm gonna assume they're
you're
all-
going to nit jail.
Send me,
Yeah.
send me. I've
Pull up
been
your
willing
ranges,
to
pull
go
up
for
your
it.
ranges, LP.
If you run it in poker stove, you're behind it.
With
because
jacks?
Because of the early position raise.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the hijack versus under the gun +2, you'll sit behind. And
He's low jack though.
No, no.
yeah, but I mean,
hijack- the hijack
when it's
open.
an early raiser and there's a 3-bet, his range is pretty tight, the 3-better.
So we need to look at, but the hijack's 3-bet range is what we're gonna see.
Yeah, but he's never finding half of the combos here. That's reality.
Oh, I don't wanna just make that for an excuse. I wanna pretend people are playing halfway decent.
Okay, so button cutoff hijack, low jack with opens.
So the hijack's, 3-bet and ace 3 suited, ace 4 suited, ace 5 suited, ace 6 suited, ace 7 suited, ace 9
Amen.
suited, king 9 suited, ace 10 suited, queen 9 suited, queen 10 suited, like jacks are ahead of a lot.
Yeah,
Seven,
but
six suited,
if you
6,
call
5 suited.
call, you're playing face out.
Boom. 4-bet.
Okay,
That's what I said.
alright.
Jacks you can't discard jacks.
Louis is going to nit jail.
Yeah, but I have just a general strategy. Whenever I'm facing open 3-bet. And this guy, do you really think that he is finding like
I just
half of the
rattled-
combos
I
here?
just rattled off a lot of his 3-bets.
I mean, that's
all.
Louis, that's
Louis-
really
but
fair.
Louis
I mean,
not
like,
saying
this is
those aren't
definitely where
3-bets,
like
Ken.
I'm over
Saying the guy
folding
doesn't find
against,
them.
yeah, a guy whose VPIP is 15 versus, and I'm finding the 4-bets against a guy whose VPIP is like 25, 30,
Do you see people like 3-betting fours here or like king 9 suited?
Dude, sometimes I see people 3-betting king 9 off there. Like,
I mean,
there's-
I'm gonna
there are
find
some
king 9
fancy players
suited,
out there.
king 10 suited, queen 10 suited. I'm not finding all of them. I'm gonna mix my suited ace, my offsuit, or my suited aces a little bit.
I think this guy is missing half of the bluffs that.
I'm not doing it with 5, 6s, 7s.
Yeah, so like, if this guy doesn't bluff this often, our jack go out like real quick.
Fair. No, that's fair.
Is everybody here folding tens there at least?
Yeah,
Honestly, I want to
No,
flat
I'm saying the
more.
people who are saying that we should raise the jacks, are they at least all folding tens, or is there anybody who wants to argue?
I'm
play
probably
10s?
not folding 10s either, to be honest.
I'm probably flatting 10s.
That's what, yeah, so that's what we're talking about. Cause I'm folding tens, raising queens and thinking about jacks.
Yeah, I have the same one.
so here,
I like this.
size
You
up.
probably don't have to bet so big multi-way on the flop.
Unless you
And
know
then-
you're gonna make the super nuts.
Oh,
But you did set up a nice pot size jam there.
Yeah.
So
Can I go back?
I'm just not sold on some of the sizings.
We definitely do not need to bet 6.5 here.
So
We-
with the big blind in the hand, is it better to polarize? Cause he's gonna connect well with that flop.
It depends on how loose you think the big blind is defending.
Jonathan Little, I think, says in multi-way pots, you want to bet small.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There's a weird thing about that. Jonathan, in the video about squeezing, Jonathan, and he's talking about continuation bets. Jonathan says that when you're multi-way, you can bet larger because it is more likely that one of your opponents, that it connects with one of your opponent's range. So in that thing of you can bet large only when the flop connects with your opponent's range. And we always bet small.
I think
watched
there's
that
a
video
there's like a balance
yesterday.
versus exploit thing happening here. Like the GTO multi-way definitely tells us bet less and size down. But if these guys are just going to be like, I have a 4, I call, which they should not really be doing, then we can get away with it. But also, like, I don't know,
you can
balance.
think about it like this, where if you bet, if the spot bets, betting small is never wrong, whereas betting big can be wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
Actually, I think on this board, like if the guy hadn't flatted on the button here, I think this would be a pot size bet on the flop. Right? Because we're gonna have a lot
Not-
of like we're representing a lot
Not
of
really.
I
Not with
like the
this
bet
hand.
size.
I think like we should have a small and a big size on this board, and like aces and kings with the suit are a great option to size down. Like I would love to give them the idea that I
And then
don't
like
have
the
shit, but I
nine,
have like
your nines and tens are gonna bet bigger, nines, tens, jacks,
exactly.
queens
I'd
and
love to give him
kings
the
and
idea that I
aces
have
start
Jack 10
sizing
without the
down.
suit, and that he can just like throw in a light 2-bet and take it away. Like I would love to get that bluff raise in it from him. I would be delighted to get a raise from like 10-9 here. And
I
like
look
I
at
think
their
people,
stack and I want to build up the pot, so I like the bet size.
but it's just like I mean this is like one of my number one things right now is that like small bets are bullshit and big bets are real. And so like I raise your small bets all day long. And like I
Okay.
don't think I'm the only person, you know, using that exploit. And like you'd love it if big blind played that way against you.
Yeah, but because of their stack size, I don't see them doing anything logic, so I'm trying to build up the pot.
So it's not really
I'm-
sizing up with anything here. It's just like mostly just betting small, but in reality it's checking to check
That's
raise
under
big.
the gun, that's under the gun versus button.
Yeah,
Well, we're,
And that's
Or-
heads up, Louis.
we're cut off versus,
yeah, so we're gonna have a few pips. The range is gonna be a hair different, but not that different.
Yeah, but the
No.
argument was that we're repping a lot of pairs, right? That's why we want to bet big. The under the gun would have more big pairs.
Yeah,
If
But
you look
also-
at the
also this is-
combos that
this is
are
heads up
betting
and-
big here, it's queens and kings.
There isn't any under the gun. That's the big blind.
yeah, and if we look,
The big blind and the button are in this.
I don't have much button flat call at this stack depth. That's the,
But also multi-way got to make a difference here.
yeah, it does.
Do you
yeah,
guys think of the pot odds it gives to the second caller if the first one calls in the, when you choose your bet sizing?
So are we
well, there
saying,
is tricky because usually multi-way, like you're kind of sizing down a little bit. But my guess, if we're heads up against the big blind here, we would almost always size up on this type of texture. Because it's easy for him to connect, so, like Vince was
And-
saying yesterday, like he's gonna have like a lot of hands like 5-7 that are gonna struggle against a big bet. Are they supposed to call? Are they supposed to fold? See if he has 5-7 of heart, is he supposed to raise? So our big bets, we're heads up against him. I think it would be nice.
And
But
it's
now
a
we
tricky
have,
hand, but it's
yes, like,
it's tricky because cutoff versus button, cutoff's gonna check a lot of flops. It's like probably one of the highest check spots I think we're gonna encounter, cutoff versus button.
Yeah.
And but conversely versus the big blind, you're gonna bet a lot. So it's kind of an interesting spot. I don't think we ever wanna check. I mean, we're never checking kings. Like kings aren't even checking heads up versus
Yeah.
button,
Like
so.
heads up against the big blind, we are using plenty of big size and I'm sure pocket king is sizing up plenty.
So, and I think heads up.
Although
I
notably,
think-
there are
I think
lower
gonna heads up.
overpairs size up more. That like nines, like we said, nines and tens is like the biggest, most frequent bets.
And I honestly
Aces and
think
kings can slow down a little bit.
cutoff versus button, I think is also gonna wanna choose a large size with a decent portion of their range because they check so much. So it might be good here.
Yeah, So it's
Just because
close,
of their
no.
stack size.
yeah.
Like these guys are clients, make them pay.
Oh, to the earlier comment about sizing up with nines. So ace eight and pocket nines are the two hands that need the most protection.
Exactly.
Yeah, and multi-way.
You know, I feel like
You also need
Alright.
protection with kings.
There's hands that need more protection than ace eight, because if an ace rolls off and you have ace eight, you're still pretty good. But pocket tens, pocket jacks. Feel
You
like,
know, they both need a lot. I think that's fair.
okay, size up and then last, and we don't get paid.
Can we go to the turn for 1 sec?
What would you do different?
I'm just not.
I bet just like a tiny bit larger. And make it like 19. And then that's a geometric size.
Okay,
Yep.
Because realistically, the 3 doesn't really change the range. We're not expecting him to call with ace-3 unless it's ace-3 of hearts specific. So his pocket pairs that called the flop probably still have to call here as he does.
okay.
Can you go to the, can you go to the, so here, when I hit this, I jammed. How do you guys feel about betting like 10 or 15 or something really small?
I
Hoping
went both ways. I went both ways on this. Like sometimes you like to bet really small on these high scare cards. But here, I think the overwhelming thing for me is that we have a bunch of missed straight and flush draws. Like we could be barreling here with like 7-5, 7-6, any two hearts. And so they really, they want folds.
We
All
could
right.
still be barreling here with ace-king.
Well, that's
the
the thing
ace
though,
of
as I thought
hearts.
about, I don't really think I have ace king on bet big, you know, like that's not my line. And so like, I want to take the small size on that king when on the line when I have ace king in my range. And I don't think I actually have ace king there.
How often do you three bet here, James?
I think a lot. I think I three bet ace 10 a lot here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to say one more word about kings. When you have the effective nuts, that's usually the moment if you want to put out a tiny bet and give them a chance to bluff raise. Like that's the hand that you're just not worried about getting raised on at all. Top of range is a great hand to put out a really small like quarter pot bet there for balance purposes.
So
I
If you're ever
actually
gonna-
like ripping it because we have the king of hearts.
I have a question for you, James. What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, I should just fold this. I agree.
Fold. Fold.
What are you doing? What's going through your mind? Tell us.
I really don't know.
4
I
or
don't
5 suited, you like that?
no, I mean, I'm probably calling something like 7-8, but 4 or 5, I think it's just a fold. And I really don't know if I was just had 10 tables open or if I just
What do you do with 8-7 suited?
8-7 suited.
Yeah,
I mean, I raise sometimes and I call sometimes.
okay.
I want to point out that this is not bad. And also if the opponent was deeper, this is a 100% flat.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I think
It's just
it's
fun.
actually like it might be like losing a tenth of a big blind, but I've seen worse. I've seen much worse. I played worse today, so it's
The
fine.
deeper you are, the better these suited connectors are in position.
And you need some board coverage around there anyway, so it's not crazy.
Yeah, the 8-7 is always that hole.
Yeah, because we're blocking the bottom of the opening range from villain. Right?
Yep.
Is that right?
And the later the villain gets, the more that comes in.
So I should not, I should just fold
No.
8 suited.
No, the bottom of the
Definitely.
opening range of the villain is 8s. Oh, right, we have 8-7, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely fold here.
Yes.
And like all these suited connectors are mixing. Might as well just fold all of them.
Fold now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, full turn.
I'm scared to press forward now. Oh my god, I knew
Oh
it.
my god.
I knew it,
Bruh.
James. Oh no.
Bruh.
Oh, good.
Against two players, this is
Okay, check,
Yeah,
check.
lose.
Alright, we're gonna lose.
Against one
but
player, it's fine. If small blind bet out there and everyone folded, I would call.
I think one
Yeah.
of them has a better four. Oh,
No, we have the nuts. We have the nuts.
what a wise call.
Stone cold nuts.
It's a huge
Um,
pot. Pot was huge.
Somebody
That was
said
so
earlier that
unnecessary.
if the
That was
small
so
blind bet
unnecessary.
out, they're more likely to call. I think that I would be more likely to call if the under the gun one player bet on Jack.
Yeah, Vince, but the problem is if the under the gun one. Oh, wait. And right, in the second they call folds, yeah.
Oh wait, that king five suited's a raise, right?
Oh,
Oh, sorry, I missaw it. I missaw it.
Do I like this three bet?
It's fine.
Most of the time I just fold here.
You three bet ace five there, Louis?
Yeah. So we are button cutoff, hijack, low jack. We're
Versus under the
using
gun.
under the
Ace
gun
two,
action.
ace three, I think. Oh, folds out.
Okay,
Ace four,
Look
ace
at that.
five.
yeah,
An ace four more than ace five.
yeah.
James on fire.
Nice raise.
He's been on preflop ninja.
I do not like this sizing at all. I think that's,
Pretty excessive.
yeah,
Why don't you like this sizing? So right now, two big cards came and we have all of the big cards in our range. And I look at it like I'm bluffing I'm polarizing my range. So I'm gonna bet big with all my kings, all my queens, aces here. And that's my thought. So why don't you like a big bet there?
because in a three bet pot, you just see bet the flop small 100% of the time.
Yeah, you
That's
don't need
how
to bet them.
most three bet pots are played.
Because you have the nut advantage, you don't need to bet as big to make him fold a queen here. Because he's still worried about ace king and pocket kings and stuff like that. Right? You put his queen in a really bad decision and a board like king queen seven, any card between the seven and the ace is gonna really dynamically change the board. So
Yeah.
And the SPR is already really low, so it's only like 3.5 or something, so you don't really need to use large sizes to get it in.
yeah, if you want to size up on the turn too, it gives you room to double barrel and triple barrel. If you bet too big, you get too much money in and you can't put pressure on him over and over again.
So you
Here's
guys bet
another, here's one other way to
30%?
think. Here's another way to think about it. On your value hands here. You want to make it, you don't want to make it so hard for him to call. And on your bluff, you don't want to make it so expensive for you to double barrel, which you probably are going to have to do against a queen.
So see, like I just showed you two similar scenarios. We always see bet the flop small. It's very simple. You don't need to do much here. Just see bet the flop small.
Was it Vince who said earlier, you don't usually make too many mistakes by betting small when you should, if you should bet big, but you can make some big mistakes by betting big when you should bet small?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That was pretty good.
This is pretty good.
Yeah, not sure.
6, 8. Yeah, I like that size. I like
Yeah,
that
it's
size a
about
lot.
just about right.
You guys, how often you guys call here?
Raise small?
Call.
No call.
Oh,
I
call.
don't call, I three bet.
Ace queen suited? No, it's just too good.
So 100% here.
The original raiser's low jack, and like I'm expecting that hijack has a garbage range, like exploitatively.
Alright, fair enough.
And that was a three-way chart?
Yeah.
Good.
Low jack opens. Oh, small blind. I thought I clicked hijack.
Yeah.
Oh, it's here. Yeah, almost the same thing. Low jack open, hijack call, big blind strategy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Leave that, would you leave that up just for a second?
Sure.
All right, so we're
Ace king
still,
off with the
still doing
stuff.
three, we're still doing the jack nine and 10 nines. Great. Okay,
So those are our very small bluff range. It's like more linear, but we have a small bluffing range.
So
I would call the king
again,
10 suited a bluff also.
same thing here. You just bet. If you want to be GTO perfect, it would be 25%, but I don't think people respect 25% bet enough, so I like 35.
You know, this kind of goes back to something I think Tim said earlier, it might have been Peter. He uses big for his bluffs and his values, so he's kind of not like, he's not making himself easy to play against necessarily, like he's bluffing big and he's betting value big all the time, like. He's
Yeah, I
like,
agree with that. If they're balanced, then it's okay, even if they're like the quote unquote wrong sizing. But like, good God, you better make sure you've got some balance there, because if it's all big when it's value and all small when it's bluffs, that's disastrous.
yeah,
So I think here blind versus blind with top pair, you could size up here. I don't like this sizing at all.
But the flop bet size was bigger than what was big also, wasn't it?
He bet 1/3 on the flop, and now
Oh,
he
did you?
bets like, yeah, it's
Oh, yeah, you're right.
7.
Okay.
Why don't we just check the turn? Check the turn with our flushes as well, so when he bets, we can punish him by check raising. I don't think we really bet this turn a lot.
Okay, that would make sense. I'm not sure how to play this one.
Yeah, I think we're turning our hand face up, but it worked out.
Yeah.
So what line can you go back to that, Lily? So you're saying that I should check turn. Do you like the small bet on the flop? What entire line do you like there then?
Small bet on the flop is good. If I'm gonna do a big bet on the flop, I want it with something like something like ace king, ace queen, stuff that can really cooler some worse hands from multiple streets. If we were to go big on the flop with his hand, we're just like quickly funneling them into a range that's crushing us. It's like they only have good draws and better aces. So like I really don't want to go big on the flop and keep barreling.
Do you guys check on the flop sometimes?
I check my
Yeah.
worst, which means like ace deuce, ace three, because they have extremely little value targets. Ace six still has ace four, ace tray, ace deuce. So like, and queen X, etc.
Like usually from the small blind, you kind of want to play a straightforward strategy. So when you have a little something, you usually bet. So here, I think like our range is so wide that we definitely need to bet here with every ace. So I never check the flop here.
Okay.
But
Would you check the flop
on the
before?
turn, it's tough because blind on blind with top pair, I would always size up here, but the problem is the tree is really bad because it completes like some strays and then completes a bunch of flushes as well.
yeah, I don't think we can size up.
So yeah,
What about in terms of checking the flop? If it were rainbow, would you consider it with a6?
say that again.
On the flop, would you consider checking the flop if it were rainbow?
But my strategy, like from the small blind, it's tough because you take the flop with a really, really wide range, right? So you're gonna be
Yeah, yeah.
checking a lot and you wanna construct a little bit of a betting strategy around 30 or 40% of the time. And it's always when you have a little something, right? It's always equity driven when you build a betting strategy out of position from the small blind. You're not really betting your junk. You're not trying to pour chips in the pot out of position in a spot
Yeah.
where you don't have equity. So it's always equity driven and this is it, right? We have top pair.
So- So you protect your checking range maybe with queens? With some of your queens?
My checking range is gonna be like, already like, well protected. I'm gonna have like, no, I don't check any queens. I'm betting every queens.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
I mean,
it's
I think you can
equity driven.
simplify here to just range bet a third and it's not gonna be terrible.
Oh, I disagree with that. Range betting here
Yeah,
from
people-
the small blind, no, that feels.
People are
really-
so bad. They're so
I-
bad.
I know, but you need to not few chips, sir, right?
That's fair.
So I would like, because if we look at the range here, like 60 big blind, like, small blind are, rate RFI, right? Small blind strategy. We're taking the flop with all of these. So like when we see this flop, we're gonna have so much hands that are gonna be like, my checking range is gonna be king eyes or king eyes. I'm always checking, especially my best ones. And then, like,
I agree that king highs are very reasonable checks. That's some of your best checks.
and probably not betting too much of my fives on this kind of texture. So king eyes, my fives. And then,
The
yeah,
nice thing is a bunch of your other stuff has like 3 to a straight. Like betting Jack 10 feels pretty good. Betting 7-6 feels pretty good. You know, these kinds of crappy backdoor hands.
I would not find these bets, honestly. Maybe Jack 10 with a diamond in my hand. If I have a diamond as well, I have a diamond here, I'm gonna bet a little bit. Okay, I think that's gonna be solver proof, not too sure.
Do you have this? Do you have the solve?
No, because I ran, this one, I think. This one is small blind limb, big blind check. I have a 30 big blind one as well. 30, where's the 30? Small blind raise, big blind call. Okay, so this one, I have 200 sims here. That thing ran from. Oh, do I not have the dates? So basically, these are some of the biggest sims I ran because their range are so big, it takes forever.
Yeah, of course.
Like, look at this thing versus this thing. So like these, they're like really like tough to run. Tough to run down as well, and then, it's like, but this D, it's gonna take like 3 months for a sim like this.
Yeah.
3 months. Oh,
3
wow.
I
months.
think I want to
minimum.
bet, I think I want to bet king, jack and king 10 here
So
and check king 9.
maybe I could ask Ken to to like, get his computer to solve this, but he will probably agree because he likes to do that kind of stuff, right, Ken? How's your button versus big blind 1,500 flops going?
Got about 200 done.
And you and then you quit.
I'm running now. I got 178 done.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
was
shit,
just,
I'm running a different spot. I got it.
I knew it. I knew it.
I'll restart it. I've been running yours overnight and mine during the day.
Yeah, right. You're just
I'm
not.
splitting the action because mine will be done faster.
I told you it was not a good idea.
What was the rest of the action on the ace six hand?
river check.
Yeah,
So we bet the flop and the turn?
But like,
I forgot.
I think this is a spot where like we are benefiting from our opponents being passive and bad. I think you take these lines where you like bet turn small and you look scared against really good opponents and they destroy you on the river. They can smell your fear and they build a polarized range and they rip you apart.
So what do? Do you bet small on the river like a block bet?
No, you check turn with a balanced range so that you can withstand further aggression. You just benefited from him like being really call happy, but then not willing to get aggressive. Like a really strong player would like bet river
turn that flop
2x
into a bluff.
pot with some flushes and that hand. And like, yeah, it would be just it's disastrous.
How often do you three bet here, James?
Ooh, fold.
I don't.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
would,
I did here for sure, and I did on the ace ten earlier. And
Yeah,
I
I think
I
this one
don't-
is quite terrible, though. What do you think? Why do you think this hand is attractive against an early position player?
I think I just look at the charts.
I'm pretty sure this is a fold.
Yeah, I think it's
I'm
a
pretty sure
fold.
this is correct at mixing frequency. I'm gonna say it's like half and half.
Really?
Against, let's say we're against 40.
But just so I know back on the solves, I forgot to turn on your solution last night, LP, so it didn't run overnight. I forgot the
You're a
story.
genius, James.
Sending Louis to knit jail.
Alright.
I thought it would have been a fold.
I
Wow.
don't like this. Feels bad.
There's a sliver of blue in there. I can get away.
Sure. So it's good.
By the way, ace 10 off is three betting at almost every spot against EP, including the small
Uh-oh.
blind. I think, and
Uh-oh.
even the big blind as well.
That's
you have an
why I
easy
don't
fold.
like it. Yeah, I don't.
It's still right, though. Now fold. Well played, James.
Pocket change.
Thanks, guys. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, when you three bet at the bottom of your range and someone stuffaluffaguses, it's easy fold.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't-
Yeah, better to be three betting that than be three betting like ace jack suited, where you're just like
Although there is
crying.
an adjustment to make here. You're
I
no longer pre-flop. Your three, but your pre-flop size is now big because look at the size of everybody you're against. You're
Yep.
basically playing at 50, 60 and three big blinds is too big.
This is probably a call, but I think I'm just folding. to
So
be
you can
honest.
take it down to 2.5
I
or
fold too.
2.2.
Yeah.
okay.
And
Sure.
before, although you're huge, before you had some other you had some other 90s at the table and like that. And so you could justify the 3x that you've been doing. I don't
Uh-huh.
know that it was the right choice, but now you definitely don't want to be doing it. Now you
I
wanna be
think
down-
here you have the easiest fold in the book.
Yeah, I usually call this, and it's probably a leak, but I usually
No,
call
no,
this.
if you look at a chart, the chart is gonna say, this is a great call. Keep going. But in reality, this guy never bluffs enough and the profitability of this call is almost inexistent.
So I look at this guy's name and I think he's probably like some sort of Latin American type thing. So, I mean, I'm not gonna assume he's not bluffing enough, but I'm still folding it. Look
We're
at
calling
this.
in later position, right?
No folding now.
Oh my goodness, James, what are you doing?
This is a high,
Combo draw.
yeah, this is a high equity combo draw bluff. This is okay.
No, it's not okay because we're still 40 big blinds deep. If you have a raised sizer, it's not gonna be all in.
I would just call.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
second of all, do you think a king is ever folding here?
Oh, it was all in. Thought it was 27.
You guys
Uh,
think he's gonna
I-
fold a king or like pocket aces here?
A king
No.
isn't. A king sure isn't happy getting a 2x pot jam on him.
I think a king is extremely happy to see this.
Yeah.
I'm not happy, but I'm not folding ever. Like, I'm not considering ever folding the king.
I would be
but I'm not-
extremely happy to see you not for betting me and then doing this. I would be
Are
like,
you-
haha, I got him.
I'd be miserable if I had queens.
Yeah, queens hate their lives right now.
No,
Yeah,
the
Ace jack
queen-
is not happy.
queen have the easiest fold in the world,
Are you folding queen jack here?
definitely,
Are you
Yeah.
folding ace jack here?
definitely,
Are you folding queens?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
James, I think you're justifying your play pretty well. I mean,
Yeah, I'm like, I guess it's good.
it might be excessive. It's like we also can just call here.
Yeah.
Like
Although-
we
Do
have
you
all
think
this.
what most players are gonna do with a hand like queens here? They had a good hand pre-flop, they have a sentimental value towards their queen, okay? And they're gonna be like, okay, man, I got outdrawn, fuck it, I'm going away with my queens.
Yeah, who was the guy in your very first hand? You won like 150 bigs off of queens when he was ace. He
Yeah.
smashed on the ace.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, but
exactly what
He was,
people
although
do.
that was different. He didn't call a huge turn, but he kept betting.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but a 50 big blind guy will call with his queen, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I think I prefer to call here. I'm not sure about the raising strategy. Honestly, it's not a spot we're gonna see often, but.
I think when
don't
you
like the
jam,
raise
like,
Because I think
people-
he's overly linear and he doesn't have enough fold.
I mean, you could just raise small, probably like 2.5, 3x is probably okay.
Agreed.
You know,
Agreed.
Yeah,
I
if
think
you
when
are
you shove
raising.
the
you
you're gonna get the
never
same
know.
result.
Looks like exactly what it is. Which
Jacks
is
are
like
probably gonna
great.
fold still, you know, like like a
Ah.
jack, whatever he's, if he's got like, I don't know, queen jack might fold now, so.
So you're arguing for a raise to 15?
Yeah, definitely never an all in, that's for sure.
Okay.
I would call here.
So
Prefer
if,
to call, because I think if we give action, we only get action back from a king. And then our hands that he doesn't wanna fold and everything I think is, I don't know how equities run though, because we have a kind of a strong hand.
Yeah, like the thing is when we get called by a ace king or pocket king or pocket aces here, we have a really high equity hand. Like, I think that's why it doesn't mind getting it in here.
I would do like James, but I prefer check call.
There's one other thing though, this hand, our hand really wants to see both cards. We don't want to put ourselves in any position where we have to fold the turn.
But what do I know about this game, right? The sim is going all in.
The sim mixes everything. Okay.
So.
So there's an
'cause-
interesting thing here where there's two different straight flush draws. And it's choosing to get aggressive with the worst one. So queen 10 is playing very passively. Like sometimes you see in the solves that your straight flush draw can calm down a little bit. But here queen 10 gets to chill a little bit and 10-9 needs to go bonkers.
Queen 10 has more outs.
Queen's blocking probably more bluffs
No, it doesn't.
than
No,
can
it
the
doesn't.
queen could call or a jack. So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you also
So-
have to remember in a 3-bet pot, his c-bet's supposed to be really high, so you're really denying a lot of equity and getting value from all of his pots, his hands that have some equity here, but can't call off against a jam.
Right, because he
who-
has like ace queen with one club, but he's folding that.
So which one are
has-
you, what
he
are
has-
you guys doing with like ace five suited, with all your suited aces of clubs?
We just
Call.
looked at it.
Call.
They're all raising.
It's true, I just look at it. But still, I'm not finding this many raises here.
Me either. Especially with the nuts. I'm like, I got a nut draw. I don't have to get spicy. I could just call, right? But it's a
So-
mistake.
Well played, James. I think this spot is really interesting. Oh no, that's why I don't do that. That's why.
But all of your hand is pretty pure on outs against pocket kings. Right? It's actually better that he has pocket kings than pocket queens.
For
Sure,
sure.
sure, we got equity, we got it, but it's like, to me, the guy in position never has this, he just has these, like. What are we trying to do? He doesn't have that king jack off, you know? Doesn't have that king nine, that jack, maybe, he doesn't, he just doesn't, he doesn't have that pocket eight. So like. We're fighting against jacks and kings and then ace king and aces. And queens that are not gonna fold. I don't know. We've got equity though, and the sim says yes. But the sim says yes against this.
16 outs twice,
Yeah,
and he has 10
Wonder how
outs.
Bert would have played it.
16 out. Yeah, very interesting. So we're at hand 70 and we have just 600 more to go.
Does somebody want
It's
something
gonna be a
here?
15-hour review session as well.
Yeah, man, we are looking at this here, 1650 or second place, 4,406. 4,600,
Nice.
260 buy-ins, pretty good, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. We like it a lot, at least 250 buy-ins, that's a good score.
Oh, I thought this was cash game.
Am I three betting too much here?
I don't think so.
Against his exact hand, we had 41% equity.
I'm three betting pure here.
I don't think so. When you're deeper stacked, you don't want to three bet the offsuit as much. Right? And remember, there's the guy who raised has 70 and the guy behind us has 100.
That's right, 50-50.
So 50, basically.
So I think
That's
I'm
when I
gonna
look, that's when I look at the villain's HUD and decide if I want to raise him or not.
I agree. If he folds to 3-bet a lot, then just like click 3-bet.
Ooh, no. James,
Oh, no.
you never wanna call here.
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
folding.
no.
Zero.
Yeah,
percent.
I'm in position. I'm not folding.
I'm 4-betting before I'm flatting.
Jonathan Jaffe actually has a full webinar about in this exact spot, how you should never play a hand like king, queen. In this webinar, I think it's suited against a cold like three bet range. You should never put a chip in the pot here, even with king, queen suited.
Really?
That he has a webinar on it. Should check it out.
So is that from
Yeah,
the
you gotta
small
just
blind?
fold that. You just
The
fold.
small blind. and big
No,
blind Louis?
stop putting chips in this pot.
No, I think it was just whenever you were looking at somebody open, somebody three bets, and you're with king, queen suited. Looking at cold four betting or calling or doing whatever.
Yeah, so that would be from like the small blind or the big blind here, right?
Yeah,
It's not
it's
just
a
the
bit
big blind.
different, right? But I think it's very similar because of ranges.
Okay.
That when this guy three bets, like this guy's the big blind, like this is the seat where people like to realize they're equity the most. He can just call with most of his range.
What's his squeezing range? Can we look at it?
Yeah, for sure. But big
'Cause
blind.
I know I mean, I'm not folding here. Once the other guy call, I'm not. I just feel like I'm in position. I can I have opportunities to steal the pot if I get a decent flop.
I think you want to avoid being the double flatter because your range is going to be collapsed. Like,
Louis, it's more
Yeah,
like
it feels,
it's more like
it feels
60 or 40.
bad. It feels bad when I do it, but I just feel like I still have
like
to.
you just have to know when you hit top pair that the money is going in because you have to call down lighter because that's the top of your range. You cannot have a better hand. If you understand that, then go ahead.
So this was a call. Is this what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Wait, that's
no,
big
but
blind.
that's what you asked me for.
Yeah, let me see the squeezing range. So, yeah, I mean, he's not gonna probably,
Like.
so if he is squeezing all that, what are we calling?
Not king, queen off.
I just wanna see how bad I am.
Oh.
So I wanna see it surrounded in a sea of blue.
While you're
If
finding
it's
that
close, I
one,
won't feel so bad.
while you're finding that one, on our 9-10 suited hand that we jammed, against pocket kings, we had like 41% equity. Against ace king, we had 55% equity.
Wow.
Yep. So you're jamming for value.
We were jamming for value against everything but pocket kings
Yeah, PLO players
and,
know,
and,
right?
and other,
If you,
and other sets.
Yeah.
Pocket kings, pocket jacks, pocket eights.
So it looks like his squeeze should be all in here. It's what it's looking like to me.
Do you have a squeezing range?
I think the big blind's supposed to just jam when he squeezes here.
The squeezing range is this.
No, with
Oh, that's
60
his range.
bigs, he's not jamming.
Okay, right, that's his range there.
And then from
Yeah,
the
he's
hijack
starting to hand with 57.
versus three bet. So.
Yeah, no,
low
he's
jack
jamming
open.
ace king off there. Right, to protect jacks.
So this is the solution here. Low jack
Ace-
open, hijack call, big blind three bet, low jack fold,
So,
hijack strategy.
Ace queen's the only offsuit hand we defend.
Yeah, so. James? This is what you wanna have like for a strategy
Just
against
don't.
that here.
Note that the king, queen suited does call unlike the webinar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
but
makes sense. Against the balanced
Here we have,
range,
we
yeah,
have
you have to
like
call.
chips in the pot and we're in position, so you know, it's a different scenario, right? But. Overall, king, queen off, I was folding. James,
Well,
what the hell are you thinking here?
yeah, it's,
What is
It's,
wrong with you?
it's a quarter pot, and I thought, we got 2 overs. Let's see what happens.
Oh my
You know what
goodness.
the problem is? He's sitting there with 180 bigs and you don't give a
Absolutely.
shit. He don't give a shit.
Oh
Dude,
my
I'll
god.
tell you
Exactly what
happens.
happened. I have a lot
is
of
the turn
chips.
is a king. He has ace king and you double him up. That's what happens when you're
Yep.
calling here. Like
Yep.
it's nothing good happens. You
Yep.
turns a king and he has aces and you double him up. Like that's what you got.
Yeah, this is absolutely terrible, man. I don't know what you're doing. I'm scared to press forward now.
Go to the next hand, Louis. Just go to the next hand.
Alright,
My sphincter's tightening up too.
I'm pretty sure he called.
let's jump. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
Oh no! Stop.
He's gonna win this
There's a
pot.
full
Watch him
button.
suck
It's to
out.
the
Watch him
left.
hit a
Oh
queen.
my
Watch him hit a
God.
queen and
Showdown,
then show
king
up
high.
with jacks.
We're gonna
Man,
steal
oh
this on
man,
the
Where
river.
is he? Where is he?
He's gonna
Well, he
check. We're gonna bet large.
He's gonna hit
James
a
is right
queen.
almost all the time.
He's gonna hit a queen.
Oh.
The dude's gonna show his jacks. Let's see.
He doesn't bluff with he doesn't block the club barrels at least.
Bro, click
Oh.
fold.
Hey.
All in,
Love it.
Yes, yes.
Is it gonna work?
Jesus, James, what are you
got
doing? You
You
guys,
got him.
Unnecessary.
the guy has 30
This
big
is like
blinds.
cowboy
Do
poker.
you
He's
think he
folding.
ever folds in here?
He's never checking a better hand, that dude in the big blind. He's done.
He's folding. He
Check
folds
out
river.
10-10.
Okay, I'm sorry, but
He folds jacks.
He's done.
Well, he looks at that board and he goes, there are no draws on that board.
Oh,
Oh,
Tens.
oh well, I guess he ain't done.
Oh, we're gonna get
Did he
action
just
on
call you
our,
with
on our
jacks?
value hands.
did he just call you with jacks? He called you
Jack,
with
Jack.
jacks.
But you're blocking kings and queens.
Nice call, crazy frog.
wow.
That's unfortunate. That should have
Yeah.
worked.
You didn't even double him up when he was dominating you and you hit top pair. You just doubled him up on a bunch of bullshit.
James, I don't know what went through your mind at this moment. But
What went through my mind at that moment was, oh, fuck.
He's certainly gonna, it's definitely the worst hand he could show up with, right? It's not even supposed to be in range, so.
Jesus, man, that was savage. Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen one like that.
You're gonna
I
take a lot of
think I like
pressure
the
off of me
jam on the
around
river,
here.
though. I think I like the river jam.
But do you not remember
Okay.
Monday when I punted one, Louis? Come on.
This was 100 big blinds of pure fury, man. The
We're
call,
against the
flop
same
was-
guy. We're against the
call-
same guy.
oh my goodness. Alright, so we 3-bet.
You'd see bet that flop.
Louis, later, you should find us the EVs of each decision on that game tree when we call flop with king queen, call turn with
My
king queen, and
God.
jam river with king queen.
My
I'd
God.
love to know the E EVs.
Losing your shirt, EV wise.
I like the jam on the river.
Oh my God, Scott, don't fuel it.
You cannot tell me that that's not bottom of range, Louis.
Oh
I
my,
mean, yeah, it's true. It's definitely bottom of range.
we have, oh, Jesus. Here, I really think we wanna see bet.
Yeah.
See betting's
7 big
fine.
blind.
I think it's
7.
low EV, but it's fine.
Which size do you think we see bet that? It's kind of coordinated. Do we bet large?
No, just a third, it's a 3-bet pot.
Oh, it's a 3-bet pot.
Just bet 7 and win.
Uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
The original player limp and cold called a 3-bet. Okay.
You went limp raise 3-bet?
So his shit's gonna hit that flop well, 'cause that's the kind of stuff he's gonna have queen nine suited, queen ten suited.
Yeah, but he also has like
Jack.
pocket sixes, and I think pocket
Got-
sixes
yeah.
play easy fold.
Yeah, he's got some pairs too, right? Obviously, he's gonna have all the middling pairs, but he's gonna have a lot of middling suited shit right around this stuff. So
I agree.
very cautiously here and actually check this one back.
I'm gonna
That's
triple this.
fair, but we're kind of gonna
Yeah.
know where we are. We block the ace high flush draw, which is kind of nice.
I could have an
We-
easy, I could continue really easily on a heart. We can obviously hit a king, an ace, jack, even, like, I mean, there's a decent amount of, I'm not afraid of low cards.
James, what's
I
your
will not be
strategy?
checking here.
What's your strategy in three bet pots? Because this hand, you three bet. And then you don't see bet. Why?
I don't really know why, but,
What's your general strategy as the? three
Got
bet of a flop?
PT,
usually I like, if a three bet pot, I like betting with two big cards or at least one big card on the flop. And maybe that's bad, but I just felt like 10-8-6, that's gonna hit a calling range quite a bit.
Alright, so the number one thing I want you to fix from now on, whenever you're the three better in the three bet pot, I want you to see bet small. Don't worry
Okay.
about texture, don't worry about anything, just see bet the flop small. And then you don't need to barrel as much as you think you need to on the turn or the river, right? So your money is gonna come from three betting the people, like three betting them pre-flop, they're gonna fold too much to your three bet. And then on the flop, they're gonna overfold against your C bet small. So you're not looking at the texture, you're not looking at anything, you just see bet the flop small every time. Close your eyes, see bet small, and then move forward in like knowing that they overfold to your lines. They overfold to your three bet, they overfold to the flop C bet. And then on the turn, they bring like a stronger than usual range. So you just play cautiously turns and rivers.
he has
Do
PTSD.
they
after that last
overfold?
hand.
Because I'm seeing the winner here calls king queen off.
A savage hand, man.
He's got
Absolutely
PTSD,
savage.
that's right.
And I don't agree that, because this guy opened from early, this board is not gonna hit him all that often. When he call a three bet, he's gonna have like a bunch of high cards. So he's gonna have a hand that's similar to yours, or like ace, jack, king, queen type of hand. So
Anyhow, my question is like one hand later. We three bet and we see bet. What changed?
But there's,
because this guy wasn't
Two big
opening.
cards? It's just because of the texture?
yes,
Oh, I see, okay. Well, you wanna update that strategy a little bit.
Is this a spot where we see bet bigger too, Louis?
I would honestly would have checked back.
yeah, I get check raised.
I can three bet pot. Most of the time, if you see bet small, it's gonna be very good. Facing the check raise, I think we have a call.
Now he's gonna check to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have to call.
For sure.
In the for sure though, how do we play? I mean, on a king and
So
an
gross.
ace,
I remember this hand.
I mean, he's not
Yeah,
bluff. The guy obviously isn't bluffing.
It
Yeah.
sucks bad.
Yeah, I think we need to call off. It's
I
not
think
good.
I called.
What? You think you need to call?
Uh,
No, I think I
Ace
called.
king here. Yeah, I think so, because the way I look at it, like, we're gonna
9,
make the flush 20% of the time,
12.
right? And then there's two aces and then two kings, that gives us 8% more. So we're at 28% equity.
It's
And we need 30
So you
flush.
have nine flush outs. You have
So it's a
another
fold.
three straight outs. That's
Yeah, I can't
12.
come anywhere near 37%.
No,
And then
Stop.
let's say your ace and king is live. That's another what, 6?
No, because
Oh,
two of them are flush cards.
No, just assume the best scenario. if you
Yeah.
assume the best scenario and you still don't have the odds, you do not call.
Yeah. So it's a
And
fold.
So this
the other
goes-
way goes around the same.
So this is why I wanted to check. This guy didn't open raise, he limp called, and this flop is just destroys those type of ranges. Like they just crushed this shit here. That's the only reason why I would have checked back the flop. Because now, and like I said, if we hit a heart, we have an easy time to continue on the turn. Obviously, we had a king, a queen, a jack. We're just loving it. So I think I like checking on this flop versus a limp caller on this texture.
Yeah, I prefer a bet though. I think betting here, we're just gonna realize the equity a lot easier. Cause when you bet, he's gonna check to you on the turn, you just do whatever you want.
Alright, hey,
Cause
we're
when-
gonna,
And
when
when
they-
limp,
what-
and as soon as-
What do
Well,
they
let-
do when they limp call with Jack 10? They're just gonna call your flop bet. And then they're just gonna give you a free card on the turn.
we're
So you're
gonna
gonna
take,
realize your equity. I'm actually not gonna bluff against a person like this, like who limp calls a 3-bet. I'm not gonna bluff, but I am gonna like thinly value bet against him like crazy.
Well, you're not value betting ace king if you think they have a 10.
We're not. The flop bet, it's mainly for equity realization purpose. Because I
But
want
I'm trying to realize my equity cheaper because I think they're gonna connect well with this flop. I'm likely behind.
Yeah,
at the
so when you
moment.
check back, you cap your range, and then what if they bomb the turn? They bet like pot.
Yeah, but it's the same difference. You check raise pot. I mean, the flop, what
Well,
was the
this
flop size?
situation,
I
you
can
check
call a
raise
flop
pot.
size bet with this hand. The pot's 10 big blinds or whatever it was.
This situation, he check raised pot, but what if you check back and the turn comes like a 5 of blank, and then he bombs like jack